Hello friends, welcome back. Today I am going to show you how to make brown rice vinegar. You can see here the vinegar color is totally different from apple cider vinegar. This vinegar color is little bit milky and cloudy. So it's been long time I have not uploaded any vinegar video. My sincere apologies for that because I am frequently traveling. I just came back from India and Turkey tour in end of December. So we'll upload some traveling videos, especially street foods. You can find those in the short feed. Okay, so let's start. I have soaked 100 grams brown rice overnight and now I am going to cook them. I will use pressure cooker, but you can use normal cooker as well. There is no particular brown rice you need to use. You can use any kind of brown rice as well. So here is the cooked brown rice. The quantity didn't increase much, but it's okay. I'm going to use this much. Many people think we should not use the white sugar and use brown sugar or honey or jaggery. Brown sugar is okay to use, but honey and jaggery don't use because jaggery has some impurities. Sometimes we don't know and it can affect the fermentation. Similarly for honey has lots of enzymes. It also can affect negatively when you are doing the fermentation. So stay away from jaggery and honey when you are trying to make vinegar. If you don't have white sugar, you can use brown sugar. But benefit wise, I will say it doesn't matter. In fact, white sugar is more appropriate because yeast and bacteria, they don't have to break down the brown sugar. So if you have white sugar, feel free to use white sugar. This video is going to be long, so listen carefully and until the end. If you think I'm speaking slowly, you can increase the speed because my subscribers are mostly from non-native countries: India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal and Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Philippines. So for them, and even I am also not a native speaker, so I have to speak a little bit slowly. So anyway, I have mixed the rice and white sugar together and then I'm putting in a sterilized jar. When I say sterilized jar, this is very important step. Some people think that jar need to be just clean, not sterilized. That's not true, because when you are dealing with yeast and bacteria, you have to be very careful and you have to look after the hygienity. So the jar you are going to use, boil the jar or pour the very hot boiling water inside the jar, clean with soap water, and then you can spray with little bit vinegar. That way your jar will be completely sterilized. So here I have added sugar and brown rice and mashed a little bit because I wanted to break it down a little bit so that it will be easier for yeast and bacteria to break it down further. And now I'm going to add water. So this much rice I will add 1.5 liter water. The water you are going to use should be filtered water or spring water or distilled water. And many people think that you can't use any steel utensil when you are making vinegar. You can use the steel utensil if it's food grade and good quality. Especially initially when it's not vinegar, when there is no acid, it's totally fine to use the steel utensil. After adding the water, you can put back the lid and leave it in the room temperature for fermentation to start. Today is the third day and you can see the water is little cloudy and some foam formed on top, and if I shake the jar, you can see some bubbles also coming out. So this is the sign of the fermentation. In my opinion, making brown rice vinegar is always cheaper than making apple cider vinegar, and the process is almost same. So here also, as you know, I always advise to add sugar slowly and frequently, not one shot. So today I am going to add some sugar, and here I am adding around 30 grams sugar. That is 2% of 1.5 liters water. The reason behind this is I am using less rice and more water. So the yeast and bacteria will need more food, but they can't get the sufficient food from the rice because rice is not at the same quantity. So that's why we have to add more sugar. and I can't use more rice, because if I use more rice then the liquid will be very thick. It will be difficult to strain and get the vinegar consistency. And also some people might think that using so much sugar might be harmful. It's not true, because during the fermentation the sugar will be broken down. Yeast and bacteria will consume most of the sugar, and when you get the vinegar there will be not much sugar left. If you want, you can check with the refractometer what is the sugar level of your vinegar. And after adding sugar, I will leave the jar in the room temperature for fermentation to continue. So 10 days over, you can see the liquid is more cloudy and little thick, not like very watery because of the brown rice. And now I have opened the lid and I could see that on top some of the residue is forming, the brown color one. So our objective is to keep the jar as clean as possible. Whenever you see this kind of black thing or brown thing is forming on top, this is not the fungus, this is just a residue of the liquid, and we have to just keep it clean so that no mold or fungus can form on top. So in these 15 days I have always added sugar every third day, and I have added 30 grams sugar, because here the water is more, so we have to use more sugar and more frequently. So every third day you can use, or you can also choose to go for 4 or 5 days, but you have to add even more sugar further. But today I am going to use more than 30 grams because I am going to travel for a few days. I will come back only after 6 to 7 days. So today I am going to add more sugar. Before that I will clean the jar properly so that there will be no residue or anything sticking to the top of the jar. So if you have nail polish on your nails, try not to touch the liquid directly. I dance frequently, so I have to apply nail polish. So here I have no choice, but I have tried as much as possible not to touch the liquid. Now I am going to add the sugar, and since I am traveling, so I will be adding more sugar now. So this way you can also do it at home, but I will suggest if you are at home, then stick to 30 grams and every third day you add and stir the liquid. Stirring the liquid is very important, because when you are stirring there will be no chances to form mold or fungus on top. But if you are traveling, you can of course add more sugar, stir well, and then leave it in the room temperature. That's what today I am going to do. I have added 60 grams of sugar because next 6 days I will be not here, and when you are doing the fermentation you can put a plate under the jar, because sometimes when the fermentation is very active it can overflow. So now after adding the sugar I will stir nicely, and then I will cover the lid and put it back in the room temperature. After 2 weeks you can stop adding sugar and wait for another 1 week or 10 days before you strain the liquid. So 3 weeks over and I was not here last week, so the fermentation overflowed and I could see the jar is not clean. But today I have decided to strain the liquid and put it in the another jar. Remember, you have to sterilize the jar always. Whenever you are using jar you have to sterilize it. So here I am using this jar, and also when you are doing fermentation there will be always some water will evaporate in the fermentation process. It's very normal. So if you have added 1.5 liters water, you will not get 1.5 liters. The quantity of the water will be always reduced during the process. I could see the fermentation is still very active, lots of bubbles and foam on top, because I have added sugar very frequently and a lot. So that's why the fermentation is so active. But our objective is to get good quality alcohol. And if you want to get good quality alcohol, the fermentation have to be very active, very good. And why we are looking for alcohol? Because when you keep the alcohol exposed to oxygen, you get the vinegar. That's how we get vinegar. So to get vinegar, you have to always get good quality alcohol. That's why I always say we can divide the fermentation process into 2 phases. The phase 1 is to create alcohol, and phase 2 is converting that alcohol to vinegar. So after straining, right now what we have got is rice wine or rice cider. So rice cider vinegar, right? So this cider will be converted to vinegar with the help of bacteria coming from the air. This bacteria called acetobacter will convert this alcohol to vinegar or acetic acid, and that's how we will get the vinegar. So that's why we can't close the jar with the lid. We have to keep it open so that the bacteria can come through the oxygen inside the jar. But I have covered with the cheesecloth so that no flies can go in. This way you have to leave few weeks to month so that the bacteria can come and form mother, which looks like a mat or SCOBY on top. And that's how we will know that the good bacteria, which is the Acetobacter, is there in the liquid. Now I'm going to show you how to speed up the process. Because to get the mother, it might take few weeks to months, and sometimes you can't even get the mother because of the fermentation was not good during the first phase. So to avoid that delay, I am using apple cider vinegar with SCOBY, and this brown color is the residue of the SCOBY. This is totally optional. If you don't have apple cider vinegar and SCOBY, you don't need to add, but you might get the vinegar late. Just to speed up the process, I am adding apple cider vinegar and the SCOBY, and now I will clean it and I will leave it in the room temperature. Adding apple cider vinegar will bring two benefits. One is it will bring the good bacteria inside the liquid, so you don't have to wait for the bacteria to come from air. The bacteria will be already there. And second is it will reduce the pH level of the liquid. So you don't have to wait naturally to reduce the pH balance of the liquid. It will be done automatically by adding the apple cider vinegar. Now I will check the pH level of the liquid just now I have strained, so that I will have an idea what's going on. For that you can use a pH meter or pH strip. I'm using pH strip. This one you can get in any pharmacy, and I'm using the chart from here, and I will match the color with the chart, and I can see it's near to 4. Vinegar pH level should be around 2 to 4. So now I can see it's near to 4. I don't know exactly how much. It could be 4.5 or 4.8. For that you need the pH meter. Water pH level is 7. So we can say that the pH level has reduced from 7 to cider, which is 4, around 4. So we will leave in the room temperature so that all the alcohol will convert to acetic acid and the pH level will also reduce further. "1.5 months is over since I have strained the liquid, and now I'm going to check. I have came back from Turkey and India tour, and I have left the jar just like that. You can see white thick layer formed on top. This is what we call mother or SCOBY or a mat. This is formed by the good bacteria called Acetobacter. So when this mother formed, you will know that good bacteria already in your vinegar. And then we can call that vinegar apple cider vinegar or rice vinegar with mother. So when we say the vinegar is with mother, that means this vinegar has the good bacteria called Acetobacter. This Acetobacter also called mother. And then this bacteria form the mat. This mat also called the mother. So mother means mat, mother means the good bacteria. If you are wondering how to know that you have to transfer the liquid to the narrow mouth bottle and vinegar is ready, when you see there is no bubbles in the liquid, and also if you see that all the residue sitting at the bottom and the liquid is getting transparent, also if the pH level is near to 3, you can consider that your vinegar is ready. I hope this is clear now. What does it mean when we say apple cider vinegar with mother or rice vinegar with mother? So I'm going to take out the mother first, and this jar was carved near the neck, so that's why you can see the mother also formed the same shape. So basically whatever jar you will use, the mother will form always on top and it will take the jar shape. So look carefully how the mother looks. It will be always like young coconut layer or like rubber. Now I'm going to use the pH strip to check what's the pH level of this liquid, and I will use the same pH strip, and I will match with the color chart given here. So just take little bit vinegar and then put the strip there, and then you match with the color. So I can see here the color is very similar to color 3 here. But it could be 3.5 or it could be 3.2 or it could be just 3. I am not very sure. To get the exact figure, you have to use pH meter, not the strip. But I don't need to know exactly the pH level because I could see it's already between 2 to 4, and that's we can consider as vinegar. Now it's a time to bottling. So I will be use a sterilized narrow mouth bottle. because when your vinegar is ready, you should always protect your vinegar from oxygen. So oxygen makes vinegar, and also oxygen can destroy the vinegar. So when vinegar is ready, always put in an narrow mouth bottle so that it will be not exposed to oxygen anymore. I know this video become little bit long, but if you consider the vinegar making process, the whole thing takes 2 to 3 months. So to explain the whole process in 15 minutes video, it's not very easy, but I have tried as much as possible. So you can always put the speed higher and you can listen if you think the video is too long. Once the vinegar is transferred to narrow mouth bottle, keep the cap tightly and always put in the refrigerator so that the outside temperature fluctuation will not impact your vinegar quality. Now I'm going to put back the mother inside the jar. Many people ask me how to preserve the mother. So this is the right way to preserve your mother. I mean, not your mother, it's the vinegar mother. But every mother needs care, so the vinegar mother also. So always put the mother in the jar and cover with a cloth, because the mother needs oxygen, and that's why you cannot put back the cover or lid. So here is my rice cider vinegar with mother. We can call it with mother because it has the bacteria inside the mother. Also we have received the mother from bacteria, and that mother we are preserving now. So you can see the color is totally different from apple cider vinegar. If it was apple cider vinegar, the color would be a little bit red or pinkish, but here it's milky or cloudy because the rice color is like that. So make your rice cider vinegar at home and let me know how is the taste and if you have enjoyed the whole process. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and share. I will see you again with other fermented food and drinks recipes. Stay healthy and happy. Namaskar.